want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi guys, a very good evening, our viewers.
A very good night.
All right. Okay, so today our devotion is coming from the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7.
Okay.
The story that we're going to read is a sad ending. And the key verse says, "Do not deceive yourselves. No one makes a fool of God. A man will reap exactly what he plants." Do not deceive yourselves. No one will make a fool of God. A man will reap exactly what he plants. Not every story has a happy ending. Some of them have very sad endings. Sometimes people choose to do wrong. If they choose to do wrong, then they have a hard time. The Bible tells us very plainly, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Brother Olo from Kenya told me this story about a boy he once knew who had a hard time. There was once a boy who was not very good. He would go to school and fight with the other boys. He even fought with the teachers. Sometimes the teachers wished they could send him home, but they wished even more that he would change. So they kept him week after week and tried to get him to choose to do right. At last, he finished the 8th grade, but he did not pass the government examinations. It was all too bad that is the way it was. He did not have a job, so he went to the government office and asked to teach school. All right, the men said. They really did not know what kind of a boy he was, but he had fought so much with the children and his teachers that he thought he must keep on fighting. Now he fought with the teachers who taught in the other classes in the school. At last the headmaster said, "You will have to leave. You fight too much." Now what should he do? He had no job. He had no money. He decided to join a band of thieves. He stole many things and sold them to get money. At last, some men caught him. They took him to court, and the men there told him he must come in a few days to talk with them. Until that day, he would be in jail. That night, he said to himself, "I do not want to be here. I do not have to do anything people tell me to do. I'm going to run away." So he tried to get out and run away, but a man had him. In a few minutes, several men ran away. The guard ran after them, but they would not stop. At last he said to himself, "I cannot make them stop. They run when I chase them. I will shoot one of them in the leg, and that will stop them." It was too bad, but it was the only way. They took the man who was shot to the hospital, and he had to stay in bed a long time. When he finally got well, the judge said, "Now you must pay for the wrong things you have done. You must go to prison for 2 years. If he had done right in school and minded his teachers, he would not be in prison today." That is the reward for what he did. He earned what he got, but it makes a sad ending to the story. So what have you learned from the story?
We should not fight.
You should not fight. And then another lesson?
Not every story has a happy ending.
Awesome. And you, what have you learned from the story?
I didn't know anything because the story was short.
Yes?
I didn't know anything because the story was short.
You didn't get anything because the story was short? Okay. We will repeat the story again tomorrow. Are we together? So that you can get it better, right? Yes. Thank you so much for that. So we will repeat the key verse again, which says, "Do not deceive yourselves. No one makes a fool of God. A man will reap exactly what he plants." And that's why you see this boy that's why you see this boy that we told in the story by Brother Olo. Eventually, he had to be taken to prison for the bad things that he did. Thank you so much. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.